Ferrari once built a car so advanced, so brutally fast, that it was banned before it could even prove its full potential. A machine born for domination, engineered with no compromise, and remembered today as one of the wildest road cars ever created. This is the full story of the Ferrari F40, the last Ferrari personally approved by Enzo Ferrari, and the car that redefined what a supercar could be. In the mid-1980s, Ferrari was facing pressure from every direction. Porsche had stunned the world with the 959, a technological masterpiece packed with all-wheel drive and electronic systems that represented the future of automotive engineering. Lamborghini was pushing visual drama and exotic appeal. The supercar war was escalating rapidly as manufacturers competed to demonstrate technological prowess and raw performance capability. Ferrari needed something extreme, something raw, something that would remind the world who built the most emotional performance cars on Earth. Instead of chasing electronics and complexity like competitors, Ferrari chose the opposite path entirely. Lightweight, turbocharged, rear-wheel drive, no unnecessary luxury, no compromise. This philosophy would define the car's essence and set it apart from everything else on the road. The project began as an evolution of the 288 GTO Evoluzione, a race-focused machine originally developed for Group B competition before the category was cancelled following fatal accidents. Ferrari engineers took that racing foundation and transformed it into a road car that felt barely civilized, retaining the aggressive spirit of its competition roots while adapting it for public road use. It represents the final flowering of naturally aspirated and turbocharged internal combustion engines, combined with mechanical feedback systems that might not survive regulatory pressures in the coming decades. Future generations may look at the F40 the way we look at horses after automobiles replaced them, as a romantic remnant of a previous era, valuable precisely because it has become obsolete and irreplaceable. This historical moment makes the F40 even more important as a cultural artifact and automotive monument. It was not a transition car that attempted to bridge different eras or represent a compromise between philosophies. It did not try to balance old and new approaches. Instead, it represented a complete commitment to a specific philosophy at a specific moment in history. It arrived at the peak of naturally aspirated and turbocharged engine development, captured the last moment before sophisticated electronic controls became mandatory and universal, and expressed an uncompromising vision of what a performance car should fundamentally be. The emotional truth, ultimately, the Ferrari F40's enduring significance rests not in its performance numbers, impressive as they were for 1987, but in what it represents emotionally and culturally. It proves that machines can be designed with such clarity of purpose that they transcend mere transportation to become cultural symbols and objects of genuine passion. It demonstrates that constraints breed creativity and that the absence of convenience features does not diminish desire. It can actually enhance it immeasurably. The F40 asked drivers to accept an honest relationship with their machine rather than a mediated one filtered through computers. This proposition appeals to something fundamental in human nature, the desire for directness, authenticity, and genuine connection with the things we use. In an increasingly automated, computerized, and digitally filtered world, the F40 offers something genuinely. It became the benchmark against which all future raw driving experiences would be measured. And in the process, the Ferrari F40 became one of the greatest automotive legends ever produced, a car that transcends its mechanical components to represent an entire philosophy about what driving should be: unfiltered, honest, demanding, and ultimately unforgettable. It remains proof that the most powerful cars are not always the fastest, and that emotional connection matters more than pure numbers. The legacy and impact on automotive culture, the F40's influence, extends far beyond its immediate contemporaries and rivals of the 1980s. It established a benchmark for what a driver's car should fundamentally be, emphasizing mechanical engagement and raw performance over technological sophistication and electronic mediation. When manufacturers introduce limited edition, high-performance vehicles today, they often reference the F40 as spiritual inspiration and philosophical foundation. The philosophy of keeping things simple, lightweight, and focused on pure driving dynamics has been revived repeatedly in subsequent generations of performance cars, seeking authenticity and directness. The car also marked a significant turning point in automotive marketing and culture. Before the F40, supercars were primarily defined by their luxury appointments, cutting-edge technology, and prestigious brand heritage. The F40 proved that a car could be desirable, collectible, and culturally significant precisely because it rejected those conventional approaches. It showed that stripping away comfort and convenience did not diminish a car's appeal, it actually enhanced it dramatically. This insight influenced countless future designs and purchasing decisions among enthusiasts who valued genuine experience over amenities and refinement. Rare and valuable. An unfiltered, mechanical, completely honest interface between human operator and machine. This is why the Ferrari F40 remains not merely a significant car historically, but a genuinely important one culturally and philosophically. It stands as a monument to a specific vision of what automobiles could be, built by a company at a specific pivotal moment in history, representing the final expression of one man's uncompromising philosophy. That combination of perfect timing, clear vision, execution excellence, and cultural impact created something that transcends the typical categories of vehicle evaluation. It is art, engineering, philosophy, and pure driving experience combined into one of history's most memorable and celebrated machines. In the marketplace, the F40 demonstrated the power of scarcity combined with exceptional engineering and philosophical clarity. The original 400-unit production target created artificial scarcity that drove demand skyward. The fact that demand exceeded supply so dramatically that production was expanded to over 1,300 units actually preserved the car's exclusivity because even 1,300 units represented a tiny fraction of global car production. Today, with millions of cars manufactured annually, 1,300 represents an absurdly small number. But in 1987, it still conveyed rarity and exclusivity to potential buyers. The F40 also proved that a car could be mechanically simple, yet intellectually and engineering-wise sophisticated at the highest levels. Engineers faced incredible challenges in achieving the performance targets with minimal electronics and computer intervention. The turbocharging system required careful engineering to manage boost pressure and delivery characteristics. The chassis had to provide handling capabilities that modern cars achieve through electronic intervention, traction control, and active suspension systems. But the F40 achieved these performance targets through pure mechanical design and engineering excellence. The braking system, cooling system, transmission, and every other component all required fundamental excellence because they could not be enhanced or compensated for by computers and electronic management systems. Ownership experience and modern relevance. The performance figures were staggering for its time and remain impressive by today's standards. 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 3.8 seconds, with many tests pushing it closer to 3.7. Top speed exceeding 200 miles per hour, making it the first production Ferrari to officially break that barrier. The top speed claims reached as high as 324 kilometers per hour in some tests, though exact figures varied depending on conditions and testing methodology. It was not just fast in a straight line. The raw boost from the twin turbos delivered explosive acceleration once they spooled up, creating a driving experience that demanded respect and concentration. There was turbo lag, the moment between pressing the throttle and the boost engaging, and then sudden violence. Drivers described it as intimidating, alive, almost unpredictable. The power came in waves rather than linearly, making the driving experience something that required constant management. And that unpredictability became part of its legend. Unlike modern supercars filled with traction control and stability management systems that filter the driver's inputs, the F40 required genuine skill and courage. It communicated everything through the steering wheel and chassis. If you made a mistake, the car would not save you. If you lost grip, the electronic systems would not intervene. That purity defined its character completely. It felt mechanical, analog, and direct in ways that few cars ever have. When Enzo Ferrari, the legendary founder who had built Ferrari from nothing, saw the finished car shortly before his death in 1988, it represented something deeply symbolic. It was a statement of philosophy and personal vision. No electronic interference. No compromise for comfort or convenience. Pure performance above all else. It became the final Ferrari launched under his direct supervision, giving it emotional weight and historical significance that no successor could replicate.